engage on your backline.
And it's actually really interesting, right? Because Kaiwing, one of the older players on this team, Delight, when he was a bro, was an incredible Nami player.
At the top. I know, obviously, these power rankings, the statistics that come in behind them as Junja looks for a bit of early vision.
Anything done, so instead of risking the game at an early play,
you think they want to kill Honkyu?
Yeah, possibly.
Well, they're going to go for it here as Emperor's Divide will pick him up.
Peanut?
We'll see whether he can get himself out of there, but that is going to be first blood going over to Zeka, and that is a great start.
Very important.
Right?
You might think of tempo and like tempo. No, not that.
It's not actually like that. It's just a vibe of who's in the better position. And right now, Peanut not in a great position as Arcane Shift from Doggo getting so many of these Mystic shots down. Viper trying to kite it out, has that Q activated, and he has to flash to move himself out of the area. Battle Dance to save Delight, but Doggo snipes down Viper. This wave is crashing down, and Peanut and Delight both under full health. And Cataclysm does put Doggo in the cage, but Kaiwing is able to help pick that one up. Is that going to be Feats of Warfare? There it is! As the Orianna collects it now, Zeka finds a triple knockback with the Emperor's Divide, and Viper has made his way back to the fight. Kaiwing will be the first one to go down in this next team fight as Honkyu. No mana and not a lot of a chance to get himself out. But he is going to be able to flash still. Zeka able to pick it up. A double for the Azir, and HLE salvage.
Zeus was like trying to tickle him, but obviously it's Cassante, so that didn't work. And then they tried to kill the Cassante afterwards. Also didn't work as the Drake.
Yep, Drake gonna get started up here as Zeka finds another two! There is the tidal wave, that comes on through, but Honkyu's already dead. Cataclysm will be avoided, but Doggo, he's out of the fight, he's out of the pit, and there is no hope for Junja this time. It is a steamroll from HLE.
And Honkyu, without flash, there is a Jarvan whose ultimate will force you, maybe even the Flag and Drag as Zeus.
Yeah, going all out here as the equalizer goes down. It just puts a wall between himself and Driver. There's the knock-up and the punishment to come in. I'll hold it until he's actually dead, and there he does, finally.
Where he needs to at just the right times. As Zeka.
Yeah, looking for Honkyu here as the quickness comes in, and Delight will just hold him in position. Emperor's Divide, perfect position, but he's not dead just yet, and Junja is making his way down. HLE, a little bit of a split decision, but Zeka decides he wants to get the kill as there is the turret going down in the top lane at the same time.
Right now, this Herald looks I mean, why do I say it's Of course they will challenge, it's CFO!
Well, they're going to try. We'll see whether they can actually lock down the objective. He is just going to be able to steal it away. Feats of Strength come in as well, but there's a great equalizer from Zeus. Cataclysm comes down, and there is the quickness as well for the charm. Junja is immediately going to get punished, and they may not be able to get...
Zeus might be in trouble.
Yeah, can't watch the replay in this one as Zeus is in so much trouble. Audacious Charge comes through. He does flash to get himself out of the way. Wind becomes lightning, goes the wrong direction, but there's the shockwave, and down goes Zeus. Shut down money for the Orianna. For this Rumble to come back up again, and right now CFO do have control of the area. 50% on that health bar. Zeka going to need to find a fantastic shuffle if they want to win this fight. Orb does come down. Honkyu still with no mana in this fight. Great double knock up in the backline, and there is the Flag and Drag. At the same time, Exhaust onto Doggo. He's put in the Cataclysm. Zeka takes down Kaiwing, and HLE have found their marks. Yes, Peanut goes down, but he has done enough for his teammates. As Viper may have stepped too far forward, he does get disengaged with that blast cone, but they will be able to get themselves the Dragon. Honkyu burning, but Zeus will not be able to find that kill, and my goodness, and he's hit that 2-item spike as well. I mean, Doggo is extraordinarily powerful right now. You have a bit of an engage though, as Zeus in a bit of trouble once again. Equalizer goes down, he's doing a lot of damage. Junja almost just dead, but the all-out holds him in position, and Junja will survive.
Peanut's gonna look for an exit kill here.
A little bit of an angle perhaps as he does dodge out of the way of that Q, looking for the Xin Zhao here. As you can see, Delight wants to come on over as well. Driver not quite finding the angles onto Peanut here, who will take the consolation Cassante for that 1-for-1. As Viper comes down, and if he gets the kill, that's going to feel a whole lot better here for HLE.
Too late.
But this Otacon is not long for the world, and Delight will turn up. He will be able to play defense to avoid him getting in here. Down goes the Otacon, and now Driver slowed by the circle. Zeus gets himself in there as the equalizer comes down. Perfect position once again. The tidal wave comes through. It's a phenomenal shockwave. Honkyu decides that they want to win the fight, and now it's Junja's turn to go deep. They look for the angle. Zeus goes down. Delight in a safe spot, and HLE, they're just trying to get the heck out of Dodge.
They need more though. Zeka might go down.
Yep, tagged by the Mystic Shot. Emperor's Divide pushes Doggo away, and is he going to survive? He will! Mystic Shot doesn't get the snipe. And
just
eradicate the wave. You're exactly right. Drake has coming up here, is now HLE in a bit of trouble. Shockwave onto one, but Zeus is no longer here. The scrap shield's good, but Junja just says, nah, get out of town, and he is going to be able to pick up that kill. Equalizer went down beforehand, though, and Junja in a little bit of trouble. He's still going forward. Delight will be able to deny him, but I do love the idea at least. Another Peanut to come through. It's Peanut gets taken down. There is...
Bowing also still has his flash available.
Yeah, playing some defense here as Delight making his way forward. There's the quickness. Delight seeing who he can pick up here as the wall. Sorry, the wave is going to be avoided. Cataclysm puts them both in Equalizer. Down on top to barbecue them. And there is the Emperor's Divide to lap up that bottom lane. Now Zekka in trouble, though. Will he be able to break the arm guard? He will. He's on 1 health, though. After everything's said and done, the ult from Junja so incredibly good. But Viper is still standing. It's so much damage. And the carries for CFO are down. There. Thank you very much to our stats team coming up with that one. So this is still a bit of an advantage for HLE. Delight's flashing forward. He finds the quickness to lock down Honkyu. Another phenomenal equalizer from Zeus. And the blast cone will not save the Orianna. Battle Dance gets him out of there. And Delight has been so good. Junja now in trouble. If they lose their jungler, they're in so much...
of HLE forcing things, and he wants to be present for the fight, and that fight is about to happen right now.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Look at Junja's positioning.
This is just melting. It's absolutely obscene. Driver goes in there. They're going to see whether they can win the fight because they're not going to take the Baron. The rest of CFO move over, but Driver's going all out, and he needs to get out because that health bar is just missing. Emperor's Divide finds 2 in the backline, and Zaze is there with the flamethrower to take down Honkyu again. Junja will be able to keep himself alive at least, but Peanut takes down Doggo. There are those carries you were talking about, Mal. They're now taking a nap in the river, and there goes the rest of CFO to follow. HLE.
Really, and have the Nexus in their eyes.
Exactly. Nexus turret's going to be the next ones to fall down, and we had questions for HLE. Will Zekka be able to tidy up the play? Well, the answer to that is yes. Will Delight find some of his fantastic engages? Yes, and they needed to take down CFO here in this game number 1.
I can only...
Just lock Lux. It'd just be fun.
Ooh.
Instead, it's going to be a cow. And when you see a Trundle, the cow is pretty good.
Yeah.
You don't get to subjugate it. Yeah, cow beats troll. It's like rock, paper, scissors. I don't know what the other thing is. Going over to CFO as the bouncing bomb does connect onto the cow. Ziggs would be another thing that we could include into the game, but it would make it too complicated.
Clear through the top side, but Junja seems to be reading this super well. He's actually pathing his way towards the bot side. Kaiwing is going to come and check. Now they'll spot him out.
Yeah, Kaiwing gets the information. Zenith Blade is going to hit there as well, as Peanut is behind enemy lines, and now Junja's going to make his way in. No flash. He cannot get over here, but Peanut just goes straight into his hands. Not sure about that one, as Peanut is just dead. First blood over to Junja.
Not base until our first item.
I hope so.
Wait, he's breaking the pact. He has
this
help.
is kind of ridiculous. Doggo moving up towards that top side. Mega Inferno Bomb does connect. Doesn't quite do the damage, though, and now he's trying to tunnel his way over. The ulti comes through, and Zeus goes down. Immediately, Doggo now at about 200 health. Zekka trying to get himself out of there.
This early on is nothing to scoff at.
Certainly isn't, especially when you're looking at then a Caitlyn that gets some free farm to bail you out. She's not necessarily known for that, as Zeus also not looking like he's going to be able to get out of this one either, as he takes a bite out of him. There is the Vault Breaker available for Peanut to try and play some defense. Zeus might be out, but Peanut could be in trouble. Honkyu decides that he wants to kill the Rek'Sai, but it may have not been the right choice. Peanut tries to get himself out. The Solar Flare connects. And this is a little bit cute. The ring around the Rosie to come on through now as Peanut not able to get over that wall. One bite from Junja.
There we go. They're not letting down on the gas.
Yeah, Honkyu makes his way in with Kaiwing. Viper going to try and go for the execute, and he will be able to get it. Flashes out of the Solar Flare to make sure that no one gets the money. Still going for a bit of a dive now towards the top side of the map as HLE. They've come alive. The shutdown to give Peanut some money back, and Delight gets his unbreakable. Peanut versus Junja. Junja still in a very good position, but it's kind of stagnated as this game has gone on, and that shutdown money really helping Peanut try and find his way back in. As the Blast Cone, the Mega version, is just going to be denied for just about forever. Delight has to flash to get himself out of that situation, and the Mega Cone finally does come in, and the Realm Warp to follow. CFO, a steak dinner prepared. They're going to throw down Shelly just to make sure that they retain it. Junja is going to drive her in, but we do have the wall being set up, and so it's going to have to be a different place to get a headache. Never mind, just swings by, just bypasses the wall, and then bypasses the turret It's not what you want to see. There is the cease and desist, and Junja will immediately get punished, but he does have the subjugate, and Zeka just kind of evaporated off the back end. They still get the charge. How the hell did that work? That is so it looked like he missed.
Calculations, Atlas. How did you not see that?
I really do like to assess things based on the result. Is now Doggo going to get knocked up here by Zeus, looking for the target, and doesn't finish him off. The flash from Peanut will be able to get on in there, and Zeus getting so many knockups in this fight. It is going to be the Troll finally going down and getting punished. Viper is at full health in this fight, but now his front line has ran out, and HLE are just trying to get themselves out of there, and Honkyu is going to say nope, as they all do take the Realm Warp. And so Zeus might be able to just buy some time here with some tunnels.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. We'll go down for sure here. We'll see who they give the kill to. Looks like it is going to be Rest. Well, maybe an opportunity on mid. No.
So just start a fight on Otacon.
Yes, here we go.
Well, it's going to be HLE starting this fight as the wall is going to be put down. Zeker is knocked off it a little bit early, though, as Mega Inferno Bomb just pushes Viper out of the fight entirely. They do trade it for Honkyu, as Viper with the redemption might be able to stick around. Peanut looking for that angle there, but it is just going to be the satchel that tries to get Doggo out of dodge. Zeus now could be the one in trouble, though, as Solar Flare. The circles are layered, and it's not enough damage. He just tunnels his way out. Another shove to buy that space, but the Otacon down underneath half health. As HLE still wanting to go for this one. Redemption to get those health bars back again. As Peanut, can you get the steal? That's the question. He gets himself in, but it's not going to be stolen away. And down goes Peanut immediately. It's a brilliant knock-up there from Delight, but Honkyu is still alive somehow. And CFO are just trying to limp themselves away with the Otacon in tow.
High success having their kits. Between the passive, the subjugate. Renekton with his Q as Highwing is looking aggressively. Viper needs to do some damage. How alive? Get it low.
Well, there is the Solar Flare towards that backline as Junja in a bit of trouble, but it's so much AoE with this Mega Inferno Bomb. Still, Rest is going to go down. The double knockup is fantastic, and it's 2 on the floor here for CFO. Zeus is down, the Dragon getting amongst it as well as the ulti from Viper to soften up Honkyu with Zeka on the flank angle. The flash pulverize from Delight is gorgeous, and Viper is there with the follow-up DPS. Doggo now out of cooldowns, but is able to at least get rid of the cow, and HLE come alive finally in this game. They don't look good, it doesn't look great at all. As Zeus is continuing to have a rough time. That interruption was absurd as Mega Inferno Bomb comes down, but he takes another tunnel, tries to escape, and it does not work. And HLE, they have pulled this one out. Zeka on that angle once again to try and get that wall in. Junja is trying to keep himself there. He's pushed all the way out. And so this Dragon should go over to HLE. They deny a soul yet again. But can they win themselves a fight as Kaiwing goes in and then uses Delight to taxi his way out? They're both in that backline as Honkyu is delivered to the open arms of Zeka. And Rest is now just trying to slice and dice his way out. They'll take a grab.
CFO know that they cannot give up this Baron.
Every teleport is going to be employed to try and stop this one from going down. 25 seconds on Doggo as well, who doesn't have teleport when he does respawn. Still there looking for the angle as Zeus goes in. It's a beautiful flick back, a double knockup again. The pulverize is there, and Viper is indeed unstoppable as everyone is CCing every member of CFO, and that just allows Viper to shoot them. The Baron gonna go down next. It felt like a hint of desperation because CFO, it was 4 versus 5.
Doggo, you need to steal this. Run!
Oh god, another double shove comes on through though as Zeka. I think he just wants to go back to the Hotel Chronicle. I don't think he wants to give you that game number 3 as Junja down so incredibly low. Peanut to try and set up here as well. The Solar Flare is decent, but the shove, the knockups all over the place, just chained so beautifully by HLE. They'll use for HLE as well. As the siege continues, Delight gets the headbutt in triple pulverize one more time as it's Zeus that assassinates Doggo yet again as Viper gets round the side to land the pot shots. It's a double as it all settles, and my god, HLE, they really came alive, and they were asleep at the beginning of this game. But no, it looks like it's going to be a 2-0, and our second LCK team will make their way to knockouts with the fall of this Nexus. Peanut's last dance is still alive.
I mean, it felt with the Talia, and it's looking like a very well-rounded, straightforward comp from FlyQuest.
Yeah, I think the key that you kind of hit on there was the mobility for Corki. You're facing the Bard and the Maokai, so definitely want that extra dash.
Final pick will be that Rek'Sai locked in instantly by Broken Blade. Not going to be
versus FlyQuest, and see if we can actually, have that, improvement from Labrov, from Skumont here
meters
to.
Thing. That's I'm sure it's about the same size as the foot. Never mind. Quad. Let's see where the gravity field is going to work. The Arcane Storm doing a fair bit at the same time, but the Seismic Shove also lands. Death Ray comes in, the flash, and First Blood is a Cap solo kill that's immediately answered here as Busio pushes him back.
Means he's now going to be a little bit ahead of the curve.
Yeah, I think that because Busio has Hex Flash on Alistar, as well as Spellbook, he's still going to have some mobility. He might need it.
Yeah, he is ghosting, so that's going to move him pretty quickly, but does just get into position here. Twisted Advance does come on down, but it's Skumon that does get pulverized. Another brilliant flick from Quad to pull Skumon back, and in the meantime, Caps, oh, that flash is gone, and Inspired will take him out because of it. Now Quad looking for that angle once again, and they have corralled them underneath this turret.
Through the jungle, and
he doesn't see them because they're stood still.
Oh, the flash pulverize going to come on through. Another headbutt back here is even the Valkyrie damage is helping out. Trample going to come on through, but he does have part of that network set. And the flash forward does need to come in, but it's not enough. The little bullet from the Corki couldn't do it. And out goes BB once again.
Rek'Sai so obnoxious to lock down as Labrov throws the ultimate mids.
Yeah, Tempered Fate comes on down there as Hansama gets on in. Didn't quite have the snap trap, but he just flashes over the Seismic Shove and will be able to get the last hit on
death, and it was good, because Caps flashed and Quad didn't. But that one, whoa, wait a second.
Yeah, got a bit of a flash forward here from Whippo, who's going all out onto Caps, has Inspired alongside him, and down goes the victor once again. This game, because there hasn't been much of a battlefield so far. There's 5 kills all up, but it's a lot of posturing as Labrov able to walk out of the way of the wall. Seismic Shove does go wide as Hansama not quite able to get the net for the slow, but otherwise is able to get out of dodge. Still, Summoner Spell's now on cooldown, and that flash being down for the Caitlyn is a big deal as Labrov in the back of this pit just get flicked back, and I thought he was just going there yet, but still, G2 have so much control of this area. Nature's Grasp for holding on to control as well is so incredibly good. Hex Flash going to get channeled here as Busio looking for an angle towards Caps, perhaps, as he gets taken down so incredibly low. Unbreakable Will comes in, and now you've got Whippo trying to make the difference, but Tempered Fate to hold them in position. Hansama in so much trouble, and he does get taken down. Inspired to grab First Blood in the fight. Busio is going to be the answering kill, and Broken Blade takes down Busio as well. It's FlyQuest that can actually answer back as Caps trying to do some of the damage, but doesn't quite manage to do so. You can see Whippo just trying to stand in front of them. They keep them out of this one as, my goodness, he's so incredibly tanky at the same time. Is G2 going to have to deal with him first? The wall goes down just to try and keep him alive. There's a Pulverize as well as Broken Blade gets himself out of there. Now the Nature's Grasp does fly past, but the Otacon will just turn its sights onto G2 this time, down to about 4K as FlyQuest possibly out of this. There's a flash forward from Busio, but I don't know about it. The flick back, though, is gorgeous, and Skumon put in position, but unable to get the smite. That one's going to go to Inspired. As the gravity field goes down, the Arcane Storm doing nothing. Master going to take down Caps, who cannot...
Obviously, the fights are going to be a lot scarier for them. They need to leverage the advantage that they have right now.
Well, this could be certainly leveraged as Caps walks a little bit too far away from his turret and will just... Possible.
For G2's credit, it is hard to push on these Caitlyn trap lines, but never mind.
Flash is going forward here as the wall comes down, and Hansama just blows up. The inner turret is going to go down, and Skumon is running the wrong direction. Bit of a jungle v jungle here as he gets the Teemo thumbs up. I don't think Skumon's going to feel okay about it. Nimbus Strike comes forward. Inspired finishes him off, and I think this is the end of the game as FlyQuest will slowly but surely methodically tear G2 apart here in game 1. Busio going forward one more time. The Tempered Fate comes down for a bit of fun as the Nexus turrets, one already down, the second one to follow. Masu right in their face. The Arcane Storm not doing too much of anything, and the Nexus will now go down. Trading places here is Masu and Broken Blade, but down goes the Nexus, and it's FlyQuest up 1-0.
What a beautiful ending. And so to have the sustain of Soraka, as long as Busio can have some good space, I kind of like it for the team.
Well, the Xayah is the most obvious thing ever, so that is just going to be locked in here to round out the G2 composition. But
Speed Ambulance. Also, I've got a theoretical combo for you.
Okay.
If you get the Annie Flash Big Stun.
Skumon has snuck in here.
Yeah, you don't get to opt into all the fights, though. Sometimes the fights come to you.
Oh, it is happening as Labrov makes his way over. They're looking for the dive. Knockup does come on through as Boostio gets the wish out, but there is first blood going over to the Trundle here. Now have 12 seconds on the Rift Herald, so we'll see who's going to be able to get set up for that one. Boostio here in mid lane for now. Looks like Fly do want to fight for it, but Whippo's also in trouble. Equalizer goes down, flashes away, and just gets chomped down by Skumon. That's 2-0 for the Troll.
Then he makes a gank on top side and a repeat gank as well.
Yeah, makes another gank towards this top side. Good flash out there as the wish comes through as well, but it's not going to work. It's 3-0 in the kills as G2 lock down those feats of warfare and keeping these health bars pretty up there. And FlyQuest starting to look a little worse for wear. Cap's taking some damage. The Witch comes down yet again. The Equalizer not quite doing that much as Inspired goes in. Looking for Labrov, but he gets himself out. The Crescent Guard comes through as well as Broken Blade comes down from the heavens. Inspired's just looking unkillable on this Sin Zhao, but G2 just won't go down. Right, but it does feel like FlyQuest got the better of that last moment. And do get the Otacon for it as we have another engage to come through. G2 may have found Inspired yet again, but this is how the last fight started. Quad comes on over and just drops a bear on them. The Galio will be the answer. The knock-up, he's still alive, but Skumon will finally get the chomp. And down
Quadrant of the jungle. We even saw before the play took off, there were FlyQuest question mark pings there. They did kind of expect.
Oh, Skumon is just going to get flashed on here, tries to flash the wall, misses. And now you've got the Feather Storm needing to be employed. Another cheeky Equalizer to come down.
Really hard to take down now. Trundle kind of thrives in these scrappy fights.
Well, he's going to have to try and book it over here. It is Broken Blade with a lot of CC, keeping Whippo busy. Equalizer goes down. The Wish comes in, but he just dies before FlyQuest could get in there. Still, they're going to look for the fight, though. Crescent Guard comes down. Labrov just explodes in an instant as the taunt is fantastic. The flash out from Inspire, but he still dies. Not enough in the tank here for Boostio. And G2 finding the advantage here. Redemption comes down.
Get down.
It is a pretty early Baron, but it's going down very, very quickly. A teleport is available here as soon as this Rumble does spawn, and he's teleporting in now, but the Baron is going to go down. Quad immediately explodes as Whippo cannot get anything done. Flash over the wall there from Boostio as Whippo decides he wants to go aggressive. I'm not sure about that one, but Masu tries to get the kill on Skumon, and it doesn't quite work. All of these Barons still up and available, and the Justice Punch to bring Broken Blade forward. He will find his mark as Boostio's still alive and getting this healing down, but the problem is they're not doing enough damage to G2 and they're just going to back up. The culling is working as intended, but unfortunately it's just a little too late.
The Soraka healing is just way too monstrous.
The heroic entrance comes down. Quad takes a large chunk. FlyQuest still in it though, as we can see. Masu is going so aggressive. I don't know whether it's a good idea, as there is the ulti out from Caps to get so much AoE damage, but Masu still alive. The ambulance is working, but Skumon finally gets the jump down. And there goes the AD carry. G2 are a freight train. Infernal Soul for G2. The Rebel Baron power play putting them at about 8.7k in the lead. And FlyQuest trying to get back out onto the map. You can see Inspired just wanting to keep this fight going, but Between Worlds comes out from Caps, and he's now on a rampage against Quad. Simon says what? As he just takes most of it. Equalizer in as well as they look for Whippo, but he does go gold, and the quickness comes on through. The charm is fantastic. They try and keep him alive, but it does not work. It's a bit of a trade, though, as this Rakan is going to be taken down, but man, these wallets, they are so heavy from G2. First Nexus turret to be taken down. Masu going to be next to be taken on this fountain, and G2 showing them that even though they did get swept at MSI, Hero World's going to be a different story.
And I think it's just such a big difference for Skumon game 1 to game 2, having the Trundle
To be Masu's job.
See how it does go, but now to round out this comp and decide where this Mundo is going, and it looks like it will be in the jungle unless we're flexing to Jack's jungle, which is likely not going to be happening. Labrov to lock that one in, and so BB with a Jack.
Be pressured pretty effectively. You know, you've got Azir in the mid lane, looking to use Azir sweeps on him.
because there's no vision on the bot side, so Broken Blade in a lot of danger.
Yeah, looking a little bit dicey here as the counter-strike comes in. The Flash W is going to connect as the Grandmaster's might is not mighty enough, and first blood goes over to Whippo on this Crocodile.
In the side lane, and that's just, it's so problematic. Broken Blade, meanwhile, as you can see on screen, they're going for the 2v1.
Yeah, Whippo This is going to be a difficult one to deal with, especially with the Brov turning up. That flash not going to help, and Whippo is going to be taken. As we've got a bit of a problem for Caps as the depth charge comes through. Flash comes down, but the answering anchor is fantastic. Busio will be traded, though. Gorgeously played by Caps.
Respectful as the Rift Herald is started off by G2.
Exactly. It took him a while to get there, but he did, in fact, get there.
Yep, teleport is available here from Broken Blade, so it can be a 5v5. As there's the anchor connecting. Glacial Prison goes down as well. Decent chain CC as the Shockwave is decent as well. It's massive damage, but it's G2 coming out on top as both the Nautilus and the Renekton onto this turret, and with the Rift Herald, they will be able to.
Yeah, G2, they have to respect FlyQuest.
Oh no, another one, and this time the Magnustorm comes in. Whippo has to flash, gets himself out of there. Shelly gets a headache, and will be able to take this one down. Skewmon stands in front of the hook, and Busio has to cleanse, gets himself out of the way. Oh, the Emperor's Divide moves Skewmon away from him, still able to get the kill, but now the curtains have been called. First bullet, second bullet, third going to miss, the fourth one lands, but it's eaten by Labrov, and he's going to be just fine. G2 limp away.
A crazy back and forth as Masu secures a
G2
kill.
with control of the area.
Thing that, not enough time because we're starting off the Arakan. G2 is just forcing this one.
Yeah, FlyQuest do have vision. They know what's going on, but it is burning down so incredibly quickly. Mundo is very, very good at doing a lot of extra damage to these, as Busio not going to quite hit the anchor. As can they get to steal? The answers no. Whippo taking a fair bit of damage as Broken Blade is now so dangerous, but Whippo still able to get that work done with this dominance, but it's in fact the redemption that helps out. And down goes Quad as well, and it looks like FlyQuest not quite making this one happen as G2 just move forward. Mundo is indeed doing exactly what he pleases as that cleanse, that ain't gonna help you, buddy, as Skewmon does have a lot of paperwork to do, and he's
back alive.
Yeah, we got another battle here as Broken Blade will find another counter-strike. It only hits onto one, but it's so difficult to kill this. Jax, he just dives on top of Masu. I think he's gone too far, though. Does get the redemption, and what the heck is this? Jax still gets shut down. And that was looking frightening.
Dude,
and
they pulled the trigger so quickly that the front lines wasn't set for FlyQuest. Now going for a little exchange as well.
Yeah, looking for a little bit of an angle, but no full commitment onto any of these fights. Skewmon just standing in that front line. There's the flash forward, and where did he go? Master just explodes thanks to the shockwave, and now an exhausted Quad is just gonna fly his way out. But now without their Jhin, it should
to make it into quarterfinals, and they're doing it with Skewmon on his Mundo. Well, the rest of the team here going at Busio again.
Yeah, looking for a bit of an angle there, but Leap Strike does get Broken Blade over the wall. They will be okay, as Nevermind, Inspired, looking for an angle. Deadly Flourish comes down, another curtain call to come in here as Skewmon flashes himself away. Busio's dead once again, though. The last bullet not quite enough, but Quad does have the follow-up damage. It's a trade of supports. For now, the flash forward from Inspired. He thinks he's found the angles. Whippo just flashes on top. Hans is going to fall down for the first time in this game, and now this Crocodile is doing what he wants instead of the Mundo as they escort G2 out of the river. As we can see here, he's just a health bar, and this is Nash's and that Leandri's completed. Busio makes his way back. Broken Blade wants to get in here, but this Baron is going down so incredibly quickly. They have vision, but they have no one in the area, and it's FlyQuest that take the first Baron. Soldier auto attack onto Skewmon.
Oh yeah.
He's built, 3 items already, but still this Azir is doing so much work.
This game could still very much go either way. The Baron has bought a lot of time for FlyQuest to hook.
Yeah, hook to come on through there as Busio starts off the fight. Glacial Prison is good as well to hold down this front line. The last bullet this time is not going to land as we have fights on multiple fronts. The counter-strike to interrupt the teleporters. Labrov will be able to get himself to relative safety. And now it's G2 trying to turn this one around because Whippo is so much of what... And G2 now with the upper hand as Broken Blade wanting to sneak in once again. Whippo slices to get out of there, and Quad has to get out as well. Busio starting off the fight, gets the double knockup, but Skewmon is so tanky. Not tanky enough, this Azir is just going front to back. As now Broken Blade with the counter-strike is going to be able to help take down Whippo. The hook is going to not land, but the Magnet Storm is gorgeous. Not enough to do all the damage, and Busio somehow got in there, but look at the Emperor's Divide. Down goes Broken Blade. Just gorgeous from Quad as we're right into another team fight as now Whippo having to use that Q to try and get his health bar back, but Hans Summer's just going to shut him down. The Deadly Flourish as well is trying to walk out, but Broken Blade stays alive. The Emperor's Divide is gigantic, and BB will go down. The Azir is taken as well, and G2 straight out of the replay, straight putting FlyQuest into the death chamber.
Caps finals!
It was looking like it was going to happen again. It was going to look like North America could deny them one more time, but it's the top 8 defeat in the eyes of G2 as they look to take down these Nexus turrets. The Nexus, the next to go down, and the Baron curse for North America is their bane, and G2 say thank you very much.
Caps, the Western GOAT,